So first thing that we're gonna do is declare our variables, and we're gonna go inside this onCreate method just right here, and I'm just gonna leave a comment. So I'm gonna say declare variables, and I'm gonna start by typing the keyword int. That's a keyword that we're gonna be using, and keep in mind that it has to be exactly in lowercase, so no uppercase letter. And then we have to give the name of our variable. In this case, we want to make sure that we track the number of questions in a quiz. So I'm going to say number of questions in a quiz. And so I'm going to just leave it like this. I just wanted to set it up to a value, but right now, since we declared them, we don't have to set them up to any value. We just name our variables. And also notice that all the words in this variable start with an uppercase letter, except the first one. So the first word starts with a lowercase letter and all the others with an uppercase letter. And this is called the camel case convention. So that's how you name your variables. And so as you can see, we can declare even more. Let's say number of buttons on screen, and then semicolon to end the declaration. And basically this is just like naming our variables that we're going to be using in our application. And also, in order to initialize some variables, I'm just going to leave a comment right here. Okay, I'm just going to leave this comment. And so right now, in order to initialize them, I'm going to use also the keywords. I'm going to start by typing in int, and then we're going to have, for example, number of weeks in January. I'm just going to say 4. So as you can see right now, we have also a value that's set up to this variable, and that's why it's called initialization, because we attach also a value to this variable. So we don't only name it, but we also put a value. So we can also have something a bit different. Let's say number of items in an online store. Let's say it's equal to 120 if it's a very popular store. And also keep in mind that for variables, we can also add something to them. So we can say number of buttons on screen, or let's say we want to have this number of items in an online store that we just created. We probably want to just subtract some of the items. So in order to take 4 items from our store, we can just do minus equals 4, and that means that we're just taking 4 items from this 120, and so we'll have 116 right now. Also, you can just add something to them, so you can just go number of weeks in January, and probably you weren't sure at the beginning, you just said 4 and you want to add one more, and so you can add it right here. And also, if you have, for example, number of buttons on screen, you didn't really initialize it with any value, and so you can right now just say equals, let's say 3 buttons. So you can also set them up to some values, and as you can see, these are just operations that you can perform. And also I'm going to show you how you can display this on the screen. So for example, if you have integer result, so I'm going to have the result of 2 integers, and I'm going to just say, for example, I'm going to initialize 2 numbers, and to make it a bit more in a context, I'm going to say term, or just first term and second term. And also you can see that we can declare more variables in the same line as I did right here, and we can set them up with some values. 133 in the first term, we can just say minus 15. They can be also negative numbers, and the result we can just we'd rather get this and copy paste it and put it right here. So we set up our result to, let's say, first term plus second term, And then we're gonna just show this with the toast message, and we're gonna display the result on the screen. So I'm just saying the result is, and then I'm attaching this result over here. And so as you can see right now, we're gonna run the emulator by just going right here, and it says run app, and we just have to wait until the emulator loads. And until it does that, we're gonna zoom in. So it says it's 108, and that's basically the result of the addition operation. We can also subtract them, and you're gonna see in one moment what's the result of the subtraction. There are various operations that you can perform with integers. I'm just showing you the most basic ones, also the multiplication. And so you will see what happens if we multiply them. The result that's displayed is this one. As you can see, it follows the same rules as it follows in reality. And also I want to make sure that you know how to divide integer numbers. This is a bit more tricky than the previous ones because it doesn't store any decimal places. So basically the result will be 0. And I'm going to show you one more example. For example, if you have 3 and 2, then basically you divide 3 by 2, it will, in reality, it would give you 1.5, but if I run the emulator, you will see that it doesn't keep any decimal places inside an integer variable, and so that's why the result is 1. And so basically, this is all you need to know about integer variables.